All right. Well, we're coming with you with a special episode today. We are about 45 minutes out from Pendleton for Squig City GT Golden Ticket event. And I was like, you know what? With my boy Tom here, he's always popping in the live streams. He's got some colorful commentary on these guard boys. He's even gone on the record saying that if I don't get my golden ticket this weekend, then I'm just we're starting an only guards podcast.
That's
Is that what
more
it is?
Specifically, if you do lose to me in this, we are.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're playing another matchup. Okay. But yeah, I figured we just talk, more or less just off the cuff about the tournament. Again, we're like 45 minutes out, kind of going through the missions, what we think our bad matchups are, what are our good ones, what we're trying to look out for, and so yeah, we got Tommy Boy in the house, fellow team member as well. And
I have to say, before you go any further, I love the fact that you got like a YouTube voice.
Hey, just doing what I can over here, man.
Yeah.
Well, this is off the cup, man. I mean, we're
just so
we're
YouTube's
literally just
aware,
driving.
this enthusiasm was not present 5 minutes ago.
I know, it wasn't. It just shows how much I love doing this.
Right.
Man. This is
Deadpan monotone. All right, YouTube comments. Let's get them like and subscribe.
This is great, man. But yes, okay. So mission 1, we're going through Scorched Earth, layout 1. I feel like we're both feeling pretty good about layout 1, honestly.
I feel like we were just saying that something's pretty interesting for everyone in general is we both feel like no matter how many reps we've played, when it comes to the first game of a tournament, it definitely takes us both a little minute to switch into gear and make sure we're playing these missions right. Like a simple example of that is if you're feeling a little flustered and you get through game 1 of Scorched Earth and you get to turn 4 and you realize you haven't even started to burn or something like that, it's just a great little...
Like those little minor errors for sure.
Game you've played 40 times and all it takes is a slight bit of pressure and all of a sudden you forget how to do absolutely everything.
I'm curious, I don't know if I've asked you this, do you have like a questions thing on your phone of like pregame questions to ask or anything like whatever notes or kind of thing?
Yeah, no, so I saw so Kylan made a video about this the other day talking about pregame questions, which I would say is, it's also one of the things which is, which you possibly didn't mention, is that your pregame questions, you should also adapt based on your level of knowledge. So, for example, you have a relatively good faction knowledge, so you can get away with asking more in-depth questions and possibly get into some of those profiles. I know you breezed over that you don't really try to get into too many profiles, but even getting into certain profiles does require you to like have a base level of understanding. Whereas I personally don't have a very good faction knowledge, I feel like. So when I ask someone for their little pregame spiel about what their army does, I'm asking them to keep it extremely superficial, meaning I have no interest in any of their weapon profiles, really. I rarely have any interest in any of even their strats or abilities that just increase their damage. I'm only interested in things that I have like direct agency in, if that makes sense. Right? So reactive moves, crazy Overwatch targets, something like that. Something where there's going to be a big feels bad component to me if I do it and then I'm like, oh, if only I had known this unit could do that, I wouldn't do it afterwards. Whereas you just telling me that you have some Death Star unit which can kill God, that's fine. Like, there's not too much harm.
It does go back to like keeping it more broad, right?
Yeah.
Like in terms of like generalities. I mean, yeah, of course you get in the weeds as far as like specific profiles if you really need to, but if you try to get too granular of all the wombo combo things, then it's just like I feel like you get too.
Yeah, it's not just so it is the breadth, but it's also just it's tailoring it to things that you have agency in. I think that would be the best description. You don't want to end the game on some sort of feels bad where you're like, oh, if only I'd asked if they had this mechanic, I definitely would have done something wildly different. Which I don't think you're often going to get from just finding out that one of their good unit hits hard. Like I don't need to know how hard Angron hits. I understand that he hits hard, and I don't need the specific details of how hard that hits. So, but yeah, it's the I know you mentioned on the stream the other day you were worried about CSM.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely gonna be a problem. I think really the best way to go about it is like with the other bad matchups. Like if they have something that can. It's from like two problems. One, there's battle shock all over the place. They're running Cypher. They also have Vect, which is also like a problem. And the biggest one is that they have multiple units that can really just completely gut the Warriors. That being like Legionnaires, Chaos Lord with like 10 chosen.
So
even
interesting.
Abaddon.
Do you feel like your faction knowledge is now so widespread that you're comfortable that you know most of the factions and detachments to a point where you actually know exactly? And here's a better question: would you be more concerned of coming up against a faction which you did not understand what they did, or again something like CSM where you're like, I know that you potentially have the output to kill the warriors, but I actually know what your faction does, so I'm going to work around what I know you can and can't do?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair question. I think the biggest thing is if I really have no idea, I've never played against this detachment yet before, and I have no idea really what they do. Going back to those pregame questions, I mean, really, probably the number one concern is, can you battle shock me in my command phase? And where are your high volume attacks? Like whether that's in shooting or in melee. And if the answer is not an extremely high number, then I know my game plan is going to be relatively simple, because now I can just stick to the easy game plan of the warriors. The game gets obviously a lot more challenging when I have to kind of set up like hex marks more aggressively and limiting surface area on the warriors and playing like with the walls and everything to, hope that I can withstand the storm and just kind of play a little bit
guess
slower.
the issue. So what I have basically going in when I go to something like this and play these tournaments, you have two types of bad matchups, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
One where you've actually played it before and you know how badly it could slam you. So for guard, it's something like Chaos Knights, right? They could just run me over in 2 turns if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But then the other kind of bad matchup I have for me is just a faction where I have no idea what they're doing. So definitely having like not really played for like the last 2 months and never once played Eldar, I think it's unrealistic here to think I'm not going to play some Eldar boy who's going to do some 360 backflip no scope nonsense and then is going to feel extremely I'll be like, oh great,
Just a casual Halo reference, It's fun.
Exactly.
It's fun.
He's going to feel extremely good about his superior Eldar brain when he does something to me, and I'm like,
we have six Eldar players this weekend.
Is it only 6? Oh, okay. I thought it was more than that.
Necrons are the top, I think, at 8. And then CSM, I think, at 6.
Okay.
I know that. 6 or 7.
Good for us, there's only one. Well, good for me in particular, because I have no idea what it does. There's only one Ynnari player.
Oh, interesting. Are the rest just Aspect Hosts? Or I know there's one Wind Rider.
A bunch of Aspect Hosts and a bunch of Wind Rider.
Yeah.
Which
they have a way to actually one-shot the Warriors as well.
Oh, do they?
With the 6... I think what's the guy that goes in the Warp Spiders? What's that guy's name? The new character?
Oh, Lycus or something. Lycus or something.
Yeah, it's him, and then combination of like the 6, like there's 6 little jet bike guys, and they get grade 5s, and it's like crazy. I'm
more concerned, I guess, about watching some Ynnari boy do some insane gymnastics around me, where I feel like an idiot because I don't know any of their rules. And interestingly, I think the Ynnari boy is one of the highest ranked ELO players, though. So.
Oh, really? Well, I think that and the Blood Angels, I think, right?
Yeah. Although Blood Angels feel like it's still more of like a linear play pattern. You're kind of aware of what a mass jump pack army is going to be trying to do to you. Whereas I think basically playing anyone with Ynnari for the first time would be pretty rough. But like especially if it's some boy who is like unbelievably good at what he's doing. And also, not just that, but once they realize they're playing against someone who doesn't understand the tricks, I feel like it's going to make them even more confident, and they're just going to slap you about. So that will definitely at least one slapping.
At least one
slapping. And I think we're pretty sure we all have, or at least I'm pretty sure I have at least 1 second loss in the books just off getting tired. And
I mean, you've gone undefeated with this list though, too. I mean, just a few months ago, you didn't really make any changes to it?
That was index cards, so I did change that up a little bit from then. But
it's still combined reg, though.
Yeah, it's still combined reg. It's still relatively similar. My biggest thing is that it's not so much that I don't think I've gotten particularly worse with the thing. I haven't really played much since the codex dropped and since it came out, so I don't know any of the new stuff, if that makes sense. Anything basically which has popped up and become very relevant in like the last 3 months, I'm going to struggle to understand exactly what it does. And I'm running, I don't know, for the old purposes of the YouTube, I run the most generic mixed arms toolbox list in the world. The reason for which is I do think that makes it. Yeah, exactly. I'm just
and knock it.
Yeah, it's I think there's what's his face, Scary with his Jukari thing always pitches a good thing. That basically by running the most toolbox army he could come up with, he feels like it makes it about complete agency on his end, right? He wins or loses by his own ability to come up with solutions to the problem he's encountered, as opposed to say running a wild stat check and then just praying that you don't hit whatever the solution to said stat check is. Yeah, I was gonna say. Case in point, this boy.
It works real well, man. The era is almost done, though. The era is almost over.
The sad part you will never witness YouTube is, unfortunately, this camera will not be live during the games. But what I was saying to Kylan is he should, if he could just get himself a body cam for which he could film the reactions of each of his opponents as they realize the levels of bullshit associated with his warriors, because the reactions would be so good. Like just
and it's a weird dynamic because it's not like a gotcha per se. I mean, they're just it's just the fundamental rules of pilots and stuff.
If it's the first time someone's playing the army, you could spend 25 minutes explaining to someone exactly what it does, and they still will not get it until it happens to them, right? Like, if let's say you're an extremely knowledgeable player and you get a 20-minute explanation, they may from what you're explaining understand that they do not have the output to kill the warriors. Maybe they'll get that. I'm going to imagine of your 5 games, at least 3 of them, the player tries to go into the warriors and then does the little. I mean, you must enjoy the turn 2 to 3 realization you get to watch every game, where the person's eyes start to look around and be like, I don't think I can actually kill these warriors. And you're like, yeah, buddy, if you figured that out 20 minutes ago, you'd be in a much better spot.
It's the combination of scoring like 15 on primary and then also realizing
So that will be the first level realization. The second clap will be when you do some sort of, they tag at one end and then you pile in somewhere else, and they start to realize just like how much juice you're getting out of a 20 blob, or if someone doesn't lock down them with a charge and you get to do a move, and like if you, anyways. And then the final tier, like we said, will be the coherency pulls. The amount of butt hurt you are going to witness from these coherency pulls.
Man, that's the biggest trick, man.
Dude,
the
problem is what we were saying in the.
That is the biggest trick to get down.
It's just the reason it's so different than any other army is in no other army are you that punished for that level of micro error. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because you don't have the ability usually to give those back. It's such a weird thing.
I did it the other day with you, right? I charged a single.
Wait, you want to kill 8 warriors?
I charged a single empty Torox. We're talking 3 attacks on. This thing could not. I killed 1 warrior, and the coherency pool relocated to about 25 OC. And the problem is, so even if you're tagging them up and you've tagged in slightly the wrong spot,
that's the thing, because somebody's gonna want it. They're like, oh, they'll get queued. They're like, oh yeah, I'll just tag you with the transport. And you're like, cool, go for it. But
it is a feasible solution. You need to be hyper conscious of the micro, meaning not only am I tagging you with the transport, but I have to tag you with the transport in a location where, if the coherency pull happens, then it's very punishing to you. You're losing so I think that will be the funniest thing. I think you're gonna have some hilarious reactions as you basically get to watch people go through. In 5 different games, you're going to get to watch people go through their learning curve of what the warriors do. And
I'm pretty surprised I'm the only one running it this weekend, though, to be honest.
I do think you're going to get judge calls. You're going to get people calling judges over, being like, "Judge, please save me. Please tell me he's not allowed to do that." Is he he just relocated 40 OC across the board because I killed 1 model? You'd be like, actually, technically, it's pretty disgusting. So
it's pretty janky. It's pretty janky. But we got so let's see. We got mission 2 is Burden, which.
Which, like you said, the problem is that it's
spent 30 minutes.
30 minutes trying to convince your opponent that they are not playing Burden of Trust correctly, just to hear them tell you that no, I've played it a bunch, and you're like, doesn't matter, buddy. That's still not how it's played.
That's a pretty strong one for the warrior brick, and then going into ritual is super strong.
Right? I think I don't like the fact. I think the ritual is by definition bad. And I think putting it on Crucible of Battle is an absolute mistake. Already it's problematic when you can be spawning these near a hammer and anvil deploy, when you start letting me run my own little objectives off into the corner of a crucible of battle, like, this is so dumb at this point, right? You know what I mean? I'm generating, not only am I generating objectives in my home field, I'm generating in literally the corner of the board. Like, this is yeah, so.
Because, like, doing the prep as well, like, where you can drop those objectives, like, you can basically just drop them like a V shape, like, right outside your opponent.
Crucible, you can come back 12, and you can just hit a line into your corner.
Yeah. For me, like, I almost want to do a V because I'm trying to just keep it as close to my...
Dump it on the Warriors.
Is that possible? Oh, both my objectives are
40 objectives
8 inches away from my ghost
There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's an interesting one. I think the only time I think the ritual becomes a strategically interesting mission is when you're playing an extremely aggressive melee pressure list.
Yeah, because then they...
To the point where you're like, is me generating more objectives beneficial to me, right? World Eaters, Bile, something like that.
Most of the time, I feel like it's worth it for them to just generate that one. And
they'll always generate one, and you'll always generate one. The question is, once you're like, I know you basically would, the optimal game plan for you would be to put your entire army in my third of the table.
Yeah.
Do I actually want to start putting more objectives here to, like, benefit you from having your whole army on my side? Or do I just want to wait and then try to bring stuff in your backfield and be getting primary in like, so that can be kind of interesting, but outside of that, I'm not really convinced it's a super interesting mission of, I think the old, I'm sure, the problem is I think there's a bazillion armies here which are going to make this. My main concern here, I think, is the Eldar thing. I was trying to have a quick little read of the basic, not even the detachment specific nonsense, but just the, what are their little token things?
So it's one token for their battle tokens. Essentially, they get 5. So one can't be overwatched.
Right.
One is I think like +2 move.
Sure. The +2 move is fine. That's just like a guard order.
I think there's advance and charge.
There's a reactive move.
There's a react move,
really
and then I don't know what the other one is.
All I know is that I don't mind some of them. The ones which are like pseudo comparable to a guard order, that's fine. That's pretty reasonable. Yeah. The ones which are like
I mean, the Overwatch one is, I think, the most annoying.
I think the T6 to reactive move is
well, that too. Those are like the top 2 for sure.
That's a strat which a lot of people would easily pay 1 CP for, and these boys are just smashing it every single, like, everything you do is, So the combo of that.
I think too, just because you don't have really, because like Bulgrin and Ogrin aren't really seen in the meta right now, so you don't really have an option to do any sort of like melee tricks against Ynnari, so they're really going to be getting detachment ability all the time.
Yeah. I'm not
really
I'm
annoying.
not sure there is a guard solution to whatever it's called, lethal intent. What am I? I genuinely think there is an argument for not shooting my army turn 1.
Yeah,
Meaning, especially if you're someone who doesn't feel like they have the matchup knowledge to know exactly what the lethal intent might do. And it's not worth me having a brain aneurysm to try to figure out what Ynnari does the first time I'm playing it at a tournament. So I think you may just move your whole army up turn 1. And it's not like Katachan and Toroxes are worth that much in the shooting anyway, so...
or too, because I mean, you have so many reps with guard where I believe with lethal intent it triggers off of once you kill the entire unit.
Maybe because I'm in shooting, but I'm just saying I just put my indirect platforms, I'll just put it into a transport that I know I can't kill. Get some nominal chip value without triggering it. I'm not saying later turns. I do intend to shoot some guns in the whole game, but for the first turn, given that you're not quite sure of how exactly a lethal intent might impact you, I think I'll just move up, claim some objectives with OC and Toroxes, and then just wait till I can really full send my army into Ynnari. Right. Yeah.
I think the one unit that is just probably going to cause some nightmares is those freaking warp spiders, man. If they're like spamming those, running 2 or 3 units, because they can literally get anywhere turn 1.
I don't even know what it does. I honestly don't even know what their names are.
They go like, they're the new, with they kind of look like they have jetpacks in the back, but...
Okay, is this an anti-tank unit? Long range?
No, they're more like,
heavy anti-infantry?
More or less, yeah. I can't remember their like exact profiles.
Typically 2 relevant to me as guard, meaning all I have is either...
I guess you don't have like a lot of infantry.
I have 2 of vehicles or T3 bodies, so I don't really have too much of the mid ground. If like
it's just your home, you have to be like super careful about.
Okay.
I feel like because the warp they can, literally get wherever they want.
What is it? A 6-inch deep strike or some shit?
No, they just their movement. They go like 20, 30 inches or something, and they fly.
Yes, the old flicker.
And then and then with if they have the character dude in there, Hayden can tell us about it later.
Got it. Yeah.
He'll be a good guy to talk to about it.
I think of the armies that I would like to try and learn a little bit about. I'm not even sure it's worth my time with Eldar, if I'm being honest.
We'll see what you can do. I mean,
I can learn the basics. Like I said, a quick little read of what their army rule is to do those little token things, but I'm not going to go absolutely crazy. Brain aneurysm trying to work out what they do. So
I feel like a lot of the missions are good for you though too. I mean, Terraform.
they were until Dan went and cried.
Freaking dude, man.
Or
gosh.
or
I can't wait to do like the post tourney ride back because he's coming.
right,
with us
yeah. I'm gonna be
talk
like,
about
I'm
that-
gonna
that
pull.
later.
Can't wait to pull for
This guy.
for context in case any of this does end up on the old YouTube. The final 2 missions of the tournament on day 2 were layout 4, which if you're not familiar with the GW thing, it is the biggest no man's land you've ever seen. It is shooting paradise, basically. 2 big sections of ruins on opposite ends of the thing, and then a 25-mile no man's land right across the middle. And as a shooting monophase army, I was feeling very happy about this until one of our teammates decided to go, who happens to not play a long distance shooting army, went to go cry to the TOs, and now they have done a little adjustment to make his life a little easier. No, I do think
it's a good change.
It is a good change, and it's a
Because there's just literally nowhere to stage.
I do
right?
agree. Yeah. And actually, that's one of the things I would hope they would fix as part
the
of their
next
new
packet,
packet release is because some of these layouts, like layout 4, are okay. I mean, I don't think they're groundbreakingly amazing layouts, but they're reasonable, and they just need some ruin relocation. And it definitely makes it a more playable, balanced game.
Yeah, but I'm feeling good about the missions and the layout. So there's no Purge the Foe, so that's cool.
Thank God there's no Versus Vote for once in my life.
I would actually rather play Purge than Burden, though, to be honest.
I absolutely would not. No, thank you. I don't bring 21 units to watch a Purge the Vote.
But it should be good, man. I'm super excited. I mean, just kind of showcasing too, like just what Worm is about. Rolling in with your buddies. I think we got what, like 10?
Dude, we're
10
killing
team
it.
members.
All we have to tell the general public is it's 10 of us going to a casino for the weekend.
I know, man.
That sounds completely respectable on paper.
Playing Warhammer, man.
No, that's the bit you don't tell them.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. Spoiler alert.
10 of you guys going to a casino for a weekend is fine. Play a board game? Not so much.
Not so much. But yeah, I'm sure you guys will see in the next video how everything went down. But if you stuck around this long, I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.